What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's season 7, episode 4 of the Belle Collective. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and let's get into this conversation about these bells. Um, where do we start? I'm gonna start here. I went back and I rewatched the first episode of the Bells because I'm just kind of like, so what made us like the Bells so much in the beginning? And the very first episode is still a good episode compared to now. The first episode is just way better. The first Belle that we meet actually is Tambra, and she's over there interviewing the mayor and exposing us to a little bit to her life as a host. We used to see that. I would prefer if we're going to keep Tambra around, and honestly everybody is like, we can get rid of Tambra, we can get rid of Tambra. I don't think she's necessarily the one that we need to get rid of. Tambra shut down when they start getting her business. Latrice, I mean, not Latrice, Leticia and Marie, they were in their Mean Girl era, and I feel like with Leticia, it's been you and someone the whole time. She made comment in the very beginning that she likes to call herself Marie's PR team because Marie go around wrecking situations, and we were like, well, then why do you keep inviting her to things? But Tamara was the one that we met first, and maybe if Tambra felt more comfortable, like if there was somebody over there that she really felt comfortable in the friendship with, then we might see more of that. Tambra, she went through the situation with her partner, Greedy. I can't remember what his Damon. She went through this whole process of having a child with Damon, and we don't know much about it. And I get it to some extent. Damon is not interested in hanging out with Glenn and Cliff, and I can't be mad at that. He's probably like, I'm not doing that. So I wish we could see more of Tambra, not necessarily, in her relationship, because we don't know what that is, but can we see Tambra like be a mom and what it's like to be navigating motherhood and be still being, out in the media as, a media personality? That's not on her. I say that's on production because they want to focus on mess. And all of these shows, when we talk about trying to see ourselves in a different light, the mess is going to show itself. But we don't really need to see fabricated lives and fights and things. So Latrice is over here, she's playing this. I'm the Beyonce of Jacksonville game. Jackson, where is that at? Jackson, Mississippi. I'm the, I'm the Beyonce of Jackson, and Latrice actually has businesses, but she's got Cliff over here who I guess didn't like his edit, and it only took him 7 seasons to straighten himself up. But in the beginning, Latrice was asking this man permission to go to brunch, not hang out. You know what I'm saying? She was asking permission. Can I go to the brunch? And he's like, yeah, like as long as it's in a nice place. He also sat up there and called her fake. She said, and this is for the first brunch. She said, I don't know about going to these brunches. So, Leticia had been having these brunches, and she said, I've heard that the brunches are just the ladies tearing each other down. And I don't want to go over there. And, I think it's fake. And he said, well, you'll fit right in. This is how he was talking to his wife. So he called her fake. We've seen her in tears at dinner, at anniversaries, because this man was demeaning her. So Leticia and Latrice are in the same marriage as far as I'm concerned. It's just that Cliff has money and Glenn does not. So let's go ahead and get into it. I just wanted to, try to remind myself, like I said, what did I like about the show? This lady right here, we're watching her whole, image crumble before us. And the fact that she's sitting over here now saying that she's never had her own bank account basically discredited everything that she said in the beginning. You don't have your bank account. Then how did you go rent your enterprise? Because you need to have credit for that. You don't just walk in a building and say, "I would like to rent this space." Not unless it's like, for the banquets, yeah, but for the buildings, you want in commercial buildings. She came over here talking about rebuilding Ferris Street, and it was a great idea. And we were like, heck yeah, we want to see that happen. But she can't do it because she can't have anything in her name because her husband, who's off on a steamboat for 28 days at a time, having pregnancy scares, and she can't do anything on her own. And this show kind of exposed that. I feel like I guess it had to come out sooner or later. Her husband is, wants to be in the limelight so bad. He wants to be a Belle so bad. It's so annoying. So she's sitting here, talking to him because she told him she wanted to be celibate. I don't know. Like, I think she needs to be real with herself. You don't tell your husband you want to be celibate. You tell him, I think we need to separate because you're not going to lay in the bed every night being celibate. That doesn't make sense. And she said she's the queen of mixed signals, and that is a mixed signal. If you're not in it, like, you tell him, let him know, like, I need to be independent. I don't trust you, whatever the feelings that she's feeling. And I feel like many women, we can't just sit here and judge her for her decisions. She's been with this man her whole adult life. He was her high school sweetheart. So I don't even know if she's ever even had any other relationships outside of Glenn. But what I do know is she's trained herself to accept the abuse. However it is, we know he's financially abusive. We know he's verbally abusive. We know he's mentally abusive. And, as far as physically, he sure does get cranked up in a moment, doesn't he? I don't think that behavior is different at home. When there's no cameras running, and in order to get his way, he starts barking and wolfing up in her face because that's what we see him doing. So he walked out that house and she called him before he could get out the driveway. And what she should have done is just let him drive off. Just let him drive off because he wasn't going to do nothing but come right back. But as soon as you called him, he's back in control again. He sat up there, stormed off, did a bunch of gaslighting. I don't know. You just act like you don't want me to be part of your business. And do you want me or don't want me? No. Right now, I need to focus on me. Talk to you whenever. But no, she's not going to do that. She's going to coddle him. Are you okay? I just want to make sure you're okay. She should make sure she's okay. But I do know if she doesn't have, she just getting her first credit card, and when you flash back, just do it. Just go back and look at the first episode and look at her. I'm worldwide. I'm traveling. I'm booked and busy. I'm an enterprise. I'm a bruncher. She's a bail bondsman. And we haven't heard her say bail bondsman so many times, in all 7 seasons as we've heard her say it this season. Tisha. Miss Carrie, I like having Carrie over here. Like I said, shoot, Carrie has carried the damn season. She's had a birthday party. She's had a, girls trip. She's calling people to come to lunch. She's trying very hard. Carrie is over here to use this platform to promote her businesses. That's what she's supposed to be doing. And Carrie needs to try, now that she's here, this is her 2nd season. I think Carrie needs to not worry about Letitia, what she's got going on. Keep Marie at hand, arm's length, because, she's nice now, but we don't know how long that's going to last. And as far as Marie is concerned, I think we should see more moments between her and Essie. Let Marie and Essie go to lunch and discuss, life, because Marie and Essie have a real relationship. I love, this new Marie Monroe, but I think if you're going to give Marie some real moments, we know Essie, we don't know what's going on with her. We know she's had some health issues. We need to check in on Essie. So I think moments with Marie and Essie, her real friend, her real life friend that we already know, would definitely add value to the show, because she can't sit over here with fake ass Letitia. Letitia, I feel like, is one of these people that's been in a fantasy her whole life. She's still living in a fantasy. She comes up with these ideas and, She learns a new word or two along the way. This season, the word is independency. And I'm going to say independency as much as I possibly can in order for you guys to understand, I need to get away from this dude. But when I say independency, it makes it sound, I don't know, more fancy for her. Independency, girl, just get a bank account. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. And again, what is he going to do if you get your own? You 40 some years old going to add yourself to your mother's credit card? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Not when you're billing yourself, you're selling yourself as the woman empowerer. You can't empower anyone that way. This time it's a talk show. It's like Tisha takes the money that she earns from this show, and then she, her and Glenn like spend it on pretend things to seem like they look like they were going to do something. Remember, he went and bought a truck because he was going to be the box truck guy, and they had a whatever you call that. I forget what you call it, the company, but we looked it up. There's nothing there. There's no insured cars. There's nothing. They're not even talking about that. Every season they come back with something different. Both of them. They just banking their life up. And now it's coming to a point where these ladies all have real businesses. Every time she gets upset with Latrice, she keeps saying, "You keep bringing me down. When we fight, you want to put me down." Because Latrice knows that you ain't got nothing going on over there. Carrie just wants everybody to get along. So that's her role right now. She's dealing with, trying to hold on to this brick and spoon in where is it? Mobile, Alabama. I think, it's a risk, a restaurant. She took the risk. She's, gonna have to make a smart business decision. But her goal, I feel like, over here is to promote her business, and that's all fine and good. I feel like they're not really gonna let you do too much promoting, to be honest. So you need to forge a friendship over here, and I think Tambra is the most likely person that you would have things in common with. You know what I'm saying? Tambra has a job at a radio station. These are places where you can promote your business. So if you want to align yourself with someone, I think that's the one that you should align yourself with, because real friendships, real bonds, let's see Tambra and Carrie go hang out. It doesn't have to be all the Bells together at the same time. You have to, kind of break off a little bit. What does Selena and Carrie have in common? Selena is very close to Latrice. So, tread lightly. I would trust her only so much because, Selena, child, we'll get to it. Anyway, she's over here trying to promote her business, and she has an idea, that she can somehow bring these ladies together. Her husband the same. They kind of have a conversation about what happened at the birthday party when, they start fighting down in the parking lot. And Carrie is like, I don't even know, like, I'm questioning whether I want to be a part of this group. And I don't blame her, because if you got any kind of business, that type of stuff will damage your reputation. She can't be like the brick and spoon lady down on the own network fighting in the parking lot. That's not cute. That's not what she came over here for. So yeah, they have positioned themselves as the peacemakers. They want this group of people to get along. And I get it. Like, if I've got to be around y'all, we don't want it to be fisticuffs. You know what I'm saying? But you're new. You don't know these people like that. And so you have to integrate yourself into their group. You know what I mean? They're not just going to be welcoming to this, peacemaking that both of y'all think that you're going to be able to do. They talked about Glenn and how he acted down, they feel like he was stirring the pot. And it did come off like aggressive. I wouldn't say stirring the pot, but instead of Glenn coming and collecting his wife, he got to give his 2 cents. Hey, shorty, back up. You know what I'm saying? He got to try to exercise his, manliness around people who ain't thinking about him. Tisha is the only one that's, moved by whatever Glenn has to say. So they think he could have handled himself better, but that's what he does. When he got into it with Willie, doesn't matter if Willie would have crushed his ass. He does. That's when he gets upset, he all up in Willie's face, and so now there's fighting going on. So that's how Glenn. That's how he moves. He moves like somebody who, is a meathead, and thinks somebody's scared of him. It's real hood or whatever. JJ's energy is missing because they chased off So Gucci. I would wonder how JJ and So Gucci would blend in with Carrie. They gone now, child. And I don't know why. Like Selena's still here. Maybe, now that their family has calmed down a little bit, they can come through as a friend of and see, how these relationships can kind of bond. Like I said, that's what all the shows that we really liked were where people had real relationships and real things going on. Carrie and her husband got real things going on. So I feel like you can balance it. They're gonna be looking for the cracks. You ain't got to show these people the cracks in your relationship. Nobody's relationship is perfect, and you don't have to get all in with what's actually going on in your relationship. But you can be open about things that are going on. Her being open about maybe having to sell her business, that's real stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I like Carrie. I like having her around, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, she's new. You can't. It takes a minute to blend in. I just think they have to navigate who it is they're going to be close to, and filming what they got, showing us what they got. I saw a clip of a whole conversation on. It was from OWN that Selena and what's her name, Latrice had that we didn't even really see. Anyway, so they decide they're gonna meet up with these people and try to make peace. Carrie calls the ladies, all the ladies except for Latrice and Leticia, to a little meetup. They want to discuss like how we can move forward from that nonsense that happened over at Selena's birthday party. This little get together was actually light. I enjoyed the ladies like having a moment, just having some girl talk, and they were talking about the situation, but they weren't fighting with each other. And this is the way they, like I said, form bonds with each other, and ones that I feel like the people really enjoy. You're gonna have people that are gonna be like, oh my God, that's so boring. The mess will appear. The mess will definitely happen. There are going to be times where people are going to step on each other's toes and maybe hurt each other's feelings or say the wrong thing. That stuff is going to happen. But when it's manufactured, it sucks. And with Latrice and Leticia, something happened. Something happened that we didn't see. I feel like Carlos has positioned Leticia as the head belle. And I feel like Latrice is tired of that because she's been here since day one. She's propped this lady up and helped her, carry on this facade, only to come down to her brunch and have them say she's an alcoholic. Like, I think Latrice been storing that stuff all the way from the beginning. The thing with the hair, her and Marie went back and forth with that forever until they got over it. But Leticia, if she can manipulate a lot of mess between the Belles, then nobody's looking at her. And she can just come across like the peacemaker. Them saying that Latrice and Leticia are like sisters is bullshit. It's bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why. I was looking today, and when Latrice came, Antoinette was her friends. I feel like Latrice's friend group has a certain aesthetic that works for her. Selena's her friend. Tambra's her friend. When her husband says she was fake, that's what he means. There's a certain aesthetic that's attached to her real friends because, she's all about the look. And Leticia Pearson does not have it. That's why her and Marie Monroe are friends, because they have a certain aesthetic. These girls can go leave Jackson and go, they could go to Atlanta, they could go to Huntsville, they could go and mingle with other people. When Stormy was over here, like I said, they can mix and mingle with other people. They have a certain style. I don't think Carrie actually has it. She thinks she does, but she does not. So, but she's genuine. At least she seems like it. So that's why, I mean, at this point, they really don't appreciate her in terms of what she's trying to do. I mean, what else is that are they going to do? If Carrie hadn't have made the, get together at her house for them to have therapy, as much as these people throw therapy around, but everybody needs it. And then maybe it's like just reality TV therapy. You know what I mean? Like, not like personal stuff, but this reality TV world is something different. And so maybe they do need to have a therapist come in. I don't know about surprise therapy. I hate surprise therapy, but what were they going to do? These two can't even like get along. So then you're going to always be planning things without inviting one of them. And if Latrice is friends with Tambra and Selena, then you, Carrie, will be stuck with Latrice. I mean, Letitia and Marie Monroe. That's how it's gonna have to separate. So we can't do that. We have to mix it up and have real things going on, real events going on. Marie had her birthday, child, but girl, Marie swinging them two men around for no good reason. That's not real stuff. That's fake stuff. So they sitting up here. It's so funny because they're like, I don't know. This is Marie. They've never been this bad before, and they've absolutely been this bad before. Marie and Leticia was down at the reunion acting like they was about to jump Latrice. She ain't forgot. She ain't forgot. That's why we're where we're at. Y'all was telling her she's jealous and she just, all in her face. And you don't know. Marie Monroe was like, I'll beat the brakes off you. They was getting ready to throw hands with each other. So I don't know why this particular event, it was the same as all the rest of them. Now you're like, oh my God, y'all were acting like wild banshees. They've been fighting. Selena was down to Latrice's event, fighting with So Gucci, glass thrown and all kind of stuff. So as much as I don't know why they can't get along, girl. You had your moment. You had your moment too. You and So Gucci down there about to put each other's eye out. Carrie lets them know that, they're going to come down to the coast and they're going to enjoy a little, relaxation, and they're going to enjoy some therapy. And so they're like, girl, we ain't been able to fix it. So I don't know what makes you think you will. Maybe that's what it takes. Somebody in the middle that doesn't have any type of, she's an objective eye. She's not attached to these people, not like that. There's no sides here. We just want to get this ball rolling so I can get to this money. That's where she at with it. Selena went down to the bail bondsman's office. Now they have this conversation, and I saw it, like I said, on a clip of OWN. But Selena said, she's had her license, she's kept it up, and right now she got, she had that party, they got a wedding coming up, and she keeping it moving. She want to get back into doing the bail bondsman's thing because she said she pay her own bills. She has her own money, and Mike could pay for the incidentals, but for right now, yeah, she's handling her own, and that's what I wish. I wish I would have, this is Letitia telling her, I wish I just want to have my own. I want to have my own credit card. I just got my first credit card. I'm happy she got her credit card. I hope she keeps going with her independency. I hope being around somebody like Selena inspires her to keep it moving. So Selena, she's divorced from what's his name? The kid's daddy? Uh JJ. She's divorced from JJ. JJ went on to have another life, but JJ, he's established as, a businessman in the community, and she walked away from that. So to be independent on her own. Like I said, she's got examples of it, and it ain't Latrice, because Latrice and Leticia are in the same damn boat. I already said this is this lady's office. Selena asked Leticia if she's coming to the coast. Now, Carrie, you know you should have invited everyone yourself. So she comes over here and asks, are you coming to the coast? Because we're all going. Did Carrie recruit her to go ask? Because that's what it seems like. And that would bother me. Like, girl, you didn't ask me personally to come to your event and you're gonna therapy me there. So yeah. I don't know why she decided to do that. She said she's undecided. She said something weird like, let me decide, let me see if I do I want to come to the coast or stay at home with my dildo. Ew. Stay at home with your dildo. Don't bring it with you. That's for damn sure. She gonna go. She knows she's gonna go because at some point her and Latrice have to be in the same space. And it looks like it's gonna be over here at Carrie's house. Ooh, sorry, y'all. These two meet up. I don't care, to be honest. This is just a waste of time. I feel like Cliff is faking like he's this good guy. He said that he's rather, not piss off his wife. He doesn't want to get her upset. So if him not being friends with with Glenn, if that's what he's got to do, that's what he's got to do. They can be cordial, but they're not going to be back to the way it was. His wife is over there suffering from blood clots and things, so he got to relax and at least in during filming because I'm not buying it. I don't think he cares like that. Like I think he cares, maybe. I don't know, probably not. Anyway, like I said, this is a nothing conversation. I feel like Glenn, first of all, Glenn is the one that said he cut Cliff off. Cliff is not the one that cut him off initially. He was feeling some type of way, but I think that Glenn has become a liability. He was over there at their place of business fighting. Then he decided to come over there and involve himself with Amanda, which is not a good look for Cliff because Amanda being over there is only going to have her keeping an eye on whatever he got going on. Then he let the shit get messy. Then, they're down at the reunion talking about how the cops got called over to their business because Cliff was over there. We didn't see him snatch that girl before. So the cops had to be called and she's the bail bondsman. So she got the tea straight off what do they call it? Whatever the walkie-talkie thing is. Anyway, I feel like Glenn has become a liability and Cliff doesn't, it's not worth it for him to be friends with him like that. Plus, they know they ain't got shit over there. They think they're better. Both of them, both Cliff and Latrice, think they're better. So they looking at these two like they're beneath us in the first place. They don't have nothing, none of that business that they claim they have. They do not have. Everybody knows it. And so the way Latrice thinks that she is the queen bee, I feel like she's tired of Carlos pushing Leticia as the head belle when why would she be? Because she don't even have her own damn bank account. And that's the stuff that Latrice starts pulling out when she gets pissed. Like you ain't got no business. Ask somebody with a real business. That's the thing that hurts Leticia. Bear with me. That's the thing that hurts Leticia because she knows it's true. She knows that everything she's doing over there is pretend. And all these ladies know it too. And they're pretending with her for whatever reason. It's probably a joke to be like, girl, you booked and busy. Girl, you got it going on. I feel like Tambra and, Carrie don't know. She about to find out. She's probably like, girl, I don't think Leticia is who she claims to be. But Leticia brought her on the show. So then there's that. Oh my God, I can't stop yawning. There's that loyalty thing. I don't know why I'm yawning like that. Anyway, he wanted to hear his version of the story, make sure his wife wasn't exaggerating. And Matt pretty much confirmed, what Latrice said, that he wasn't, he wasn't calming the situation down by any means. So, I guess that means he was stirring the pot. Yeah, I don't know. He definitely didn't defuse the situation. So I'll give him that. That's pretty much, they came to the conclusion. Cliff said The Bells need to talk. He ain't got to talk to nobody. You might be a Belle, but I ain't no Belle. So that's how that went. So they're on their way to the coast, and on their way to the coast, Carrie made sure to put them in separate cars. So Latrice is here with Tambra and Selena, and Leticia is in the car with Marie. So they're riding down to the coast, and while they're riding down, somebody calls Tambra, and we find out her father may have had a stroke. We don't know for sure, but like anybody with good sense would have done, she called somebody to come get her from where she at. Y'all can keep going, but I'm going back to check on my daddy. And so anybody who's lost a parent, and I don't know that I'm guessing he's still here with us, but I'm just saying anybody who lost a parent, when you start going through that stuff, that nothing else is important at that moment. But like, and I don't expect for her to share this necessarily, like in a way that exploits her family, but it would be vulnerable for Tambra to sit with not Latrice, maybe both of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know like how much she trusts Latrice, but to see them have a conversation so she can get that out on camera and we, share like what she's feeling when you're dealing with something like that, because that's real life stuff and many of us have been through it. So if they want Tamara to expose some of her real life, I don't care about Grady Greedy Demond. I really don't. um I'd rather not sit up with fake therapists trying to pretend like we're going to be a thing when we're not going to be a thing, but to have a conversation with Selena and Latrice, and have a moment where we get to see, like I said, her real emotions during what she's going through. That's vulnerability. So yeah, she had to let them go. She she's like, I gotta go see my daddy. They down at Carrie's house. Carrie has a nice house. Marie and Leticia are admiring her home. And I heard Leticia say, yeah, when I purchase a home, I'm gonna have to have you come help me out. Hopefully you do. As soon as you get rid of Glenn, girl, set yourself up to purchase a home. I feel like a bail check is enough for a down payment on your own home. Let him go purchase his own home. Whew. Carrie had a nice spread out at her house. Usually they be being rude going to eat somewhere before they go over there, but it looked like she had it, she had it together. They were very pleasant when they came in her house. Marie Monroe, her and Carrie go back and forth a little bit, but nothing too serious. And, it's what they call it, light shade between the two of them. Um, they all sit down and, they're having very surface level conversation, and the doorbell rings and it's the therapy lady. And my only thing with this is I feel like, because this conversation had to be had, like I said, we can't keep separating Leticia and Latrice and moving forward with if we're going to be a collective. But I think this should have been who the lady was talking to. I think the other three, Selena and Latrice, oh, Tamara's not there. So I think Selena and Latrice, they should have been like having some sound bowls and, like, what's her name? Angel be creating. Have the yoga lady come over there so they can relax and take care of their health and wellness. The Carrie, you know what I'm saying? You almost there. You almost there. Latrice is having blood clots and she, been in that car. It would have been wonderful for her to relax and, have a sound bowl and maybe like, do some stretches that's going to be in her best interest. And Selena, she looks fabulous, but she just turned 50. So she might need to meditate a little bit and stretch a little bit too. And then let these two have a private conversation without other ear. They weren't saying anything. I mean, they weren't interrupting. But I feel like this lady, if they're going to talk to this lady, then they should have hashed it out with just her. They don't need a round table. And have Carrie be there because she created this situation. We need somebody to be accountable for what was actually said to make sure people don't come out, switching and remixing what the lady said. So, they went back and forth. Things escalated into them, calling each other bitches, and nobody wants that. Then the lady had to raise her voice and be like, "Hey, look how y'all acting. Y'all are supposed to be bells." And they went back and forth until they start crying. I think Latrice is probably crying because she's mad. I'm a mad crier. When I get mad, then I cry. So, and Leticia, I feel like she's mad too. I mean, she's talking about you always want to talk down on me. And like I said, that bothers her. Also, I feel like there's only so long you can hold on to a fake life, and it's probably all just kind of crumbling down. She was like, yes, I've had infidelity in my marriage. That ain't none of her business. I mean, she has to trust and believe, so she can relate to that part. She just isn't saying it, and maybe she's internalizing it, and that's why she's dealing with some of the issues that she's dealing with. Both of them are being fake and afraid of being exposed because of the kind of dirt that they've been doing behind the scenes. When somebody know all your secrets, child, and both of y'all been being messy, I would say Leticia is the initiator of the mess. She don't have nothing to do but sit around and start shit. And Latrice is aware. When this lady left the reunion, she said, I got a big back, but it ain't big enough to carry all y'all bitches. And all is fair in Belle Collective. That's the last words that Leticia said when we left that last reunion. And we know why she said that, because this little girl, Amanda, exposed her husband. You mad at the wrong person. Amanda exposed your husband, and your husband put you in that position again, and then took you down to the lakefront and wanted to recommit himself again. That's what he does. They all sat at that table, and she's seen that too. They all sat at that table, um, Carrie and her husband, Cliff and Latrice, Selena was there. They all sat there and they were like, this nigga do this every time. Every time he mess up, Tamber was there. Tamber was like, it's a pattern. Every time he messes up, he does something grand like this. He's a rapper. She was writing books. They need to stop. And we, like I said, maybe we'll see who Leticia really is, or she can discover who she is without Glenn, in the way of her progress. He doesn't want her to progress. He wants her to stay, you're a housewife. That's what he told her. So we don't have any resolve here. This lady, broke them down from screaming bitch at each other to the point of them crying. So right now, we don't even know where those emotions are coming from. Maybe we'll find out next week. Next week, Glenn crashes her photo shoot. So she's having a photo shoot, and this dude comes in there and he's like, I'm just in here to see, if it's business or funny business. And if it's business, then I need to be a part of it. No, that's what the lady said she doesn't want. So take your ass back in the truck. And Leticia, this is your chance to say what you want. I hear people like doing reviews, and I heard that I like them together. I like Glenn and Leticia together. Then you don't like Leticia, if that's how your opinion is, because there's nothing to like about that. Carrie is having a conversation with her partner, and they're coming to the realization that they're going to have to go ahead and sell that business. And yeah, it's hard, but let it go. Don't let it sink you. You got other things that new things coming, other things coming. So don't waste that energy on something that's not working. And that's part of the restaurant business. And Leticia and Latrice are going to have a meetup by themselves without a mediator. I don't know how this is going to go, but I guess it needs to happen. Hopefully that lady says something to them to, they can at least call a truce. Yeah, so that's this episode this week of Belle Collective. Like I said, and it's not just Belle Collective. I feel like reality TV as a whole, they're going to have to do better about the fake shit, because the fake friends, the fake nonsense, the businesses and things they got going on. If you ain't got nothing going on for real, you don't have a show. Like, what is the Belle Collective? If they said Jackson has a lot going on. There's a lot of businesses coming up. That's how they introduced it. And, it was cool. You like, oh, we didn't know. One thing about Huntsville, they will go and promote a business. Every time, every episode, they usually go somewhere where there's a black business for them to, promote, whether they making candles, not down to the storage, but, down to the candle place, whether they're making soap, whether they're going to different places to have lunch. They always, give the people of Huntsville an opportunity to showcase the businesses there and what's going on. So we need more of that over here. I don't want to see Leticia Enterprise anymore. What would be cool to watch Leticia do is discover who she is separate from Glenn. Whether she stays married to him, they can figure that out, without I'm judging, but I kind of don't care. Like I said, Latrice said that Leticia is a horrible person. Well, actually, Leticia said it first. She was like, "You treat me like I'm a horrible person," and Latrice said, "You are a horrible person." And I would think that was a bad thing, except for we know what this lady has done to other people. Her going to meet up with some guy that Tamara had a restraining order against in order to make drama. Her bringing this girl over that was her interior decorator or whatever this girl was supposed to be that we've never seen since then, bringing her to one of their get togethers so she could say that she was also having a relationship with Greedy. Girl, I mean, you didn't have to bring that lady over there. You didn't have no reason to bring her, but that's the kind of stuff she's done. Having someone get in Willie's DMs to see if he'll take the bait. That was Leticia behind that. Latrice maybe didn't come up with these plots, but she definitely rode along with it, which makes her guilty by association. So if Leticia is terrible, then Latrice is too. And there's that. So when we sit here looking at them with these tears and they want to, be a part of the collective, and I don't know who said that Leticia gets to decide who's a part of the collective. We're not, I mean, if that's the power, then it's going to be a battle of the bitches to see what's, who's the real queen of Jackson. This season so far seems like it's Carrie. That's all I got, y'all. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye, y'all.